Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. In today's video, we are going to talk about the stocks that we are buying, okay? Because you know what? While the market is hot and there are things that look overvalued, it doesn't mean that the whole market is overvalued. And I continue to purchase great companies. Man, I'm covered in dog hair and everything. Jeez. Okay. That said, he's never been on time in his life. This is unbelievable. How's everybody doing? Elon and Tanner have the same time schedule. This is ridiculous. Guys, I'm live. We're talking like I'm not live right now. I'm right here. You know? Unless YouTube is not showing me live. But for the most part, I seem live. Okay. Let's get into something that I thought was just so funny. There was a company that I was talking about, the fintech rivalry between SoFi and Hood on X. And I was just showing this off. And this individual here, Ian Boy, ended up sharing a video. And I don't know the tone of this message. You posted this a couple of years ago. How we doing? SoFi Technology stock, the millionaire maker. Now, it's so funny because I went back and watched it. And 2 years makes me look completely different. I didn't know how to focus a camera, and I still kind of don't. But look at this. In my opinion, about editing. Anyway, SoFi stock is one from end to end. Exactly 10,854 shares of SoFi stock is the exact amount. Look at it. Okay, but I ended up going through to see what my represent two things. A price prediction was, where was it? Stock will be worth $92.18. That would represent two things. $92.18 by 2033. Representing a compounded annual growth rate of 32%. Why? Because at the time that this video was recorded, back in March of 2023, March 30th of 2023, SoFi stock was $6.07. What do you guys think? Do you think that we get SoFi to $92 by 2033? I'm curious. It's funny how fast stocks can grow, especially in bull markets, and things just continue to execute. Even companies that you know very well, the compound effect is hard to sort of feel, right? Like even now, because the company just continues to grow, we're at a much higher multiple, but like new members are adding, or new members have been added. Those members are making more money. The margin that the company is bringing on is even higher. Geez, I'm just covered in hair. What are you doing to me, Raina? But yeah, I do think like 100% we're going to be at that price and potentially much earlier than this. Now, I don't think it's fair to start calling for that price, by end of year or even by next year. Let some things settle. Let the growth come into SoFi, okay? We can't just continuously push and push and push on multiples. But boy, oh boy. I mean, I'm having a conversation later with Stephen Fiorillo, and we're going to talk about finding companies at good prices and how you stick to your guns on those types of names. And it was not easy to hold SoFi back then. So I want to talk to you guys today about the companies that I'm holding today that seemingly have lost interest to investors, that might be harder to hold today because it's not a nuclear name, or it's not a quantum name or something like this. So it feels like it's losing, but in the long run, usually those things end up making their way out. Talk BMNR. Not right now, Andrew. You got to wait your turn. What I want to talk about is exactly what's on the title. Amazon stock. Okay. I am buying Amazon stock. Now, while the whole market is moving up, Chime too. Bought Chime. This is what I think might be interesting. Tanner, did you see Noto on Kramer? No, I did not. When was this? Um, let me check for that. Is that posted online now, or is it just a live video? Oh, okay. Yes. Hold on. Hold on. We got a video here. Hold on. This is how we get derailed. I end up getting news, and then
largely because they won the trust of the younger generation, but it's going to be bigger than that soon. So can it keep running? Let's take a
video's a little glitchy, but
close look with Anthony Noto. He's the CEO of SoFi and a longtime friend of the show. Mr. Noto, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks for having me.
All right, so what has been the key? This has been the move that you and I both expected, that I banked on you to do. You delivered. What is the genesis of it?
The first key is that we're building a relationship with our members. We're trying to be a one-stop shop for all their financial services needs. We want to be there for every one of the major financial decisions they make and all the days in between. And so we have all these products that can help them get their money right by helping them borrow better, save better, spend better, invest and protect better. We launched all of those products in 2019 and 20, and we just have been building trust and awareness over the last 8 years, and it's really continued to drive really strong revenue growth, member growth, which allows us to reinvest in the business, and most importantly, drive continuous responsible innovation. A lot of companies drive innovation, but it's not responsible.
That was not me. That was whoever recorded this. But anyway, let's continue. Let's hope there's not too many breaks between now and then. But if it is, it's not me.
Responsible innovation.
Well, let's talk about that, because there is such a propensity to do innovation, but some of it is self-destructive. And people will say, listen, I want to be 3 times X. They should go. DraftKings has stuff like that, right? And you can limit your losses, but that's not the goal of a good bank.
Yeah, one thing that's paramount to our business is trust. We need our members to trust us to give them great products that are superior to other products, be reliable, and be there when they need us. And so our SoFi Money account is the best of checking and savings in one account. High interest, the ability to send money any way that you want. We're introducing being able to send money internationally through the blockchain. SoFi Invest, the only place you can buy single stocks, fractional shares, SoFi
pioneered
ETFs.
fractional shares, something we really like.
We did. We pioneered fractional shares. A lot of people don't realize it because our members were buying stocks that were less than $10, but they weren't buying stocks.
I shouldn't be laughing.
They weren't buying stocks that were appropriate for their age. They were buying Ford and General Electric, and we realized that. We decided to make high-dollar stocks like an Amazon or a Tesla available at $10 at a time, and we also introduced a few ETFs at a $10 price point for 500 diversified companies in one ETF with very low fees.
That's the kind of creativity I like, because what it does is it gets people, particularly young people, inspired to invest. There's nothing wrong with trading. I did trading, you know that. But if you're professional? If you're not a professional, as you might say, that's not as responsible as...
Once again, not me. Let's see if it comes back.
Theme, but also to dollar cost average, which is also important to diversification.
Now, you've got something that I think people have worked hard are not respected by the banking system. You've got a subscription product that would make it so if someone, let's say, saves $100,000, which is unfortunately not a lot in these Wall Street firms, they'll get treated with respect, which is what they deserve.
SoFi Plus is about taking the best of SoFi, bringing it together, and giving even more value to our members. It's the most valuable subscription in financial services. It's $10 a month. It gives you a very high APY in your checking savings account. You get boost on rewards. In addition to that, you get access to unique things like events, in addition to the fact that you'll also be able to have a free certified financial planner. And we'll add more and more into that subscription product, including a smart card in 2026.
You know, when people say, bear with me in this analogy, when we see driverless cars, we realize, Jesus, maybe a human should never have been driving them, because it turns out they have far fewer accidents. They don't drink. They don't get tired. I often think that your model is the model that we would have chosen had we known that it could even be creatively available.
Sure, absolutely. The idea for SoFi and SoFi Plus generally was about how do we help people get to the point they have enough money to live their dreams, to have the size house they want, the size family. Well, you can't save your way there. You have to actually spend less than you make and invest the rest, which means we have to be in all these different products. And our message of get your money right is really about getting that formula correctly. And if we have all these products, we can be there when you need us, and we can be there before you even know that you'll need us. And SoFi Plus is a way to bring that in a unified way with the maximum value you can get from SoFi.
All right, let's talk about crypto and options. If used incorrectly, we've seen a lot of people lose money, as they did last Friday when you had a sudden drop off. If used correctly, I think that they're a great insurance against $37 trillion in debt. You are not a fan of that number, I know. Tell us about how you got back in and you like crypto because the members want it. You want to do what the members want. And give us a little sense of stablecoin.
Sure, absolutely. When we first launched SoFi Invest back in 2019, we asked our members what they wanted to be offered to them. And we offered them cryptocurrency in a very responsible way. We gave them warnings that it's a risky asset, is unproven, they could lose all of their money. And they loved having the product. When we applied for a national bank license, we lost the ability to offer cryptocurrency. Right. But this spring, much to our delight, we actually now have the best license to be able to offer not just banking products like SoFi Money and our credit cards and our loans, home mortgages, et cetera, but now we can also offer buy, sell, and hold crypto in a responsible way to educate them. We'll also offer a stablecoin to allow money to be moved internationally and domestically faster, cheaper, and in a more secured way. We believe blockchain will fundamentally change the way finance is done throughout our country and the world, and we're going to use it to give our members great value and how they think about the options they have. Will also be used underlying in the infrastructure to move money faster, safer, and
okay. Let's talk about faster. When it's a real pain in the butt to do crypto in the banks that I deal with. There's a delay. You want to go do crypto? No, forget it. You got to. It's like 24 hours of processing, then another 24 hours of paperwork, and we never know what the heck's going on. Let's say I watch the show and I say, you know what? I want to buy crypto. I'm going to call this guy's bank. Can I? How quickly can it happen? How quickly can it happen?
Sure. We'll be launching it before the end of the year, and it can happen very quickly because we're a bank. Well, you'll be able to fund your checking or savings account instantly and be able to buy off of that deposit base that you've put cash into instantly.
And how about if I want to put it in stablecoin?
You'll be able to do that as well. We'll introduce stablecoin in 2026, but you'll be able to do those things as easily as moving money around or buying single stocks.
Why is it that others don't do that?
Well, many others are not banks, and so they actually have to create relationships with third parties and other entities,
yes, that's true.
Which makes it very complicated. The thing that's great about our business is we really want to own the member, but we also want to own the experience. We want to own the technology, so we're responsible for delivering it, and we own the best regulatory license we could have in a nationally licensed Tier 1 OCC bank.
You offer a great rate. Do you think that rates are going that they'll be able to cut rates, say 3 times next year? You have a good handle on what people are spending.
Yeah. We do think rates will come down. As we've talked about, we've maintained very strong growth. Our outlook continues to show mid 30% growth or higher. We've been able to actually deliver more than the rule of 40 for 16.
Yes, I forgot to ask you about rule of 40.
So the rule of 40 is revenue growth plus EBITDA margin, and last quarter we were actually over 60. But for the last 16 quarters, we've been over 40, and the average has been in the mid 50s.
I have no idea why anyone would bet against a company that does rule of 40. Now, a lot of people still associate with the old days about student loan. I think about unsecured loan and what you're doing there. But what is the temperature of that market?
We continue to see very strong demand for people refinancing out of expensive credit card debt. 11 to 12% rate. That product has been a big growth driver for us. We're a lot less dependent on lending now. It's less than 50% of our business.
Student loans no longer.
And so,
really.
We're growing not just based on our capital, but based on our ability to offer all these products that have fees. So, really strong demand for the loans. Credit's performing really well. We think rates will go down, which will be a tailwind to a number of our lending businesses, as well as the investment.
But I'm still glad that I regard you as a fee-based business, which gives me a little security, which is one of the reasons why when it was at 5, I had no problems recommending it.
Exactly.
All right. That's Anthony Noto. He's the CEO of SoFi, and yes, indeed, an old friend of the show. Mad Money's back into the...
Honestly, nothing really new there. There wasn't too much adding to it, but potentially just more media exposure. There were some comments about, now that we have the Cramer curse, everything's over. But like Jim Cramer said at the end there, he's actually been positive on this name for $5. It's actually one of the names that has not worked well if you are sort of inverse Cramer. So, yeah. Credit is performing great. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that as well. So while we're on the topic of SoFi, and we've been kind of jumping around because I actually didn't even know that video was out there, and probably could have just skipped it if I did see it, because they were just sort of explaining some of the things that they want to get into and already have been in, but that's just their media exposure. there were some great quote pickups from Stock Market Nerd or Brad Freeman, who we actually used to do a weekly show with, but we both got a little bit busy, so that's been on pause. Maybe you'll see Brad again, sometime in the future. But he had picked up on some quotes from either Bank of America, JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo. I wanted to read some of these off with you guys. So let's go ahead and have a read. So according to JP Morgan, the current facts on the consumer side are that the consumer is resilient. Spending is strong, and delinquency rates are actually coming in below expectation. If you're a SoFi investor, that's what you want to hear, okay? Because whenever you're talking about the macro environment, how strong is the consumer? That's across the industry. So, believe it or not, we're going to see some very similar signs across the other banks. But let's have a listen anyway, or have a read anyway. Bank of America said asset quality remains strong, focusing on total net charge-offs in the near term. We would not expect too much change in total net charge-offs, given the steady consumer delinquency trends and reduction in CRE exposure. In addition to improving consumer losses, note the reduction in both reservable, criticized, and NPL metrics for the commercial portfolio, non-performing loan metrics. Citigroup said the macro environment reflects more global resilience than anticipated. The U.S. continues to be a pace setter, driven by consistent consumer spending as well as tech investments. While growth is cooling somewhat, and we're keeping an eye on the labor market, American economic engine is indeed still humming. Not bad. And it's worth noting that across our U.S. card portfolios, delinquencies and non-performing loan rates continue to perform in line with our expectations. Sorry, net charge-off rates. And then Wells Fargo also said credit is remaining strong. Performance continues to improve. Commercial net loan charge-offs were stable from the second quarter, with lower losses in commercial and industrial loan portfolio. Larger offsets by higher commercial real estate losses. Consumers continue to be resilient as income growth has generally kept pace with increases in inflation and debt levels. How can you hate that? How can you hate that? Someone said, where is Steve? The interview with Steve is going to be on his portfolio or on his channel, not mine. So while we will be talking with Steve, that's not going to be here. Let's see here. D-Local, I know. It feels good being in the 15s, close to 16 rates rather than the 13s and 14s. I'm happy I bought more. Tanner looks like a girl that transitioned into a man. Okay. How old is Tanner? Tanner's, I'm 27. I turned 28 on Friday. Had to think there for a second. Stream is not working for me. That's a you problem, Nerf. Can you talk about crypto weakness? So this is actually a video that I have coming out tomorrow because there's been so many updates, especially on Ethereum, that I want to talk about. I'm seeing nothing but strength, okay? It seems like equity markets and crypto markets are decoupling a little bit, and there hasn't been as much strength in crypto markets. Now, Tom Lee has been an individual that has said that crypto markets sort of lead equity markets. So does that mean that equity markets could see a pull down from some sort of technical perspective? Maybe, but but no, I'm not sort of playing any prediction on that. I'm going to continue to add to names like BMNR and acquiring more Ethereum and stuff like this, because all I'm seeing, you guys can just type in ETH into any search engine, and all you are going to see is more and more adoption of businesses that are coming on to Ethereum's network. And the largest one was, what was it called? Joya? Jove, sorry. Jove is Ant Digital's new L2 on Ethereum. So they are building a business. Ant Digital is the one of the companies that operates under Alibaba that controls Alipay. Okay, there's 1.4 billion people that use Alipay. Tens and tens of trillions of dollars that go through their network. Tens of millions, I think it's like 90 million merchants are using Alipay or Alibaba to some degree. And now they're building the future of their platform, not just on blockchain, on Ethereum. Okay. Do you guys know that Ethereum's literally getting an upgrade as we speak, where they'll also allow for more transactions to go through like per block? It like not only are more customers actually using Ethereum, but Ethereum's getting faster, allowing for cheaper transactions, which is going to just increase the adoption rate even faster. I'm crazy bullish on Ethereum right now. Okay. So if you can go out and purchase, not telling you to, but I'm saying if there's an option for an investor to go out and purchase a company that is heavily tied to the price of Ethereum, I do think that it's going to go up. What's ETH's biggest competitor? Probably Solana. I think that's a comfortable statement to make. Probably traditional finance in general. There's some people that still think that maybe digital assets is not going to be a part of the future of finance, but I have a hard time seeing that. Whenever you see Larry Fink and Vlad Tenev and, you know, what's his name? I don't remember what his name is. The large bank CEO. Anyway, even Jamie Dimon, though, like they're all saying that tokenization of real world assets, of commercial payments, of individual payments, microtransactions, all of this is going to happen on blockchain. By far, the largest chain is Ethereum. So you'd have to think to some degree they're going to capture a large amount of, you know, 100 trillion or multiple hundreds of trillions of dollars, depending on how many different industries in finance you're looking at, is starting to go towards that network. And similarly to Visa or MasterCard or anything like this, the more volume that ends up getting done on that network, the higher valued you could look at the network in general. Stream won't come up for me either. Is there some sort of underlying problem? Stream isn't working. Stream works fine. Yeah, maybe there's a problem with YouTube or something. I hope not. That would suck, but okay. All right. Well, glad you guys are back. Yeah, so going back to what I wanted to talk about, the companies that I want to buy, I still want to be heavily focused on future technologies. I'm talking in the two ones that I'm paying attention to. I'm not saying breakthroughs in biotech or quantum or stuff like this isn't going to happen, but they're harder for me to see and notice the winners. Okay. The winners that I have a very easy time seeing is artificial intelligence and blockchain, which pushes me to names that are in the center of those two changes. Okay. Well, you know, sometimes there might be, you know, potential that a company that you think might be the player ends up losing or whatever. We can have a discussion about which ones are going to win or which ones I think are going to win in this different mix. But I'm questioning whether or not you guys truly believe that Amazon is not going to be a part of the future of artificial intelligence, robotics, crypto, everything. I mean, if there's one name, if you looked at like a, you know, huge Venn diagram of all of the names that, or like a multi-bubble Venn diagram of robotics and artificial intelligence and full self-driving and stablecoin payments and global real-world assets tokenizing on chain, all of these things, okay? There are so few companies that would find their way into the direct center of that list, but yet I think Amazon is there. Okay, with delivery, with packaging and sorting and organizing their facilities, with the amount of manual labor work that they have, e-commerce growth in general, Amazon Web Services and Amazon Q, like, it's insane how much I want to be a part of Amazon. And there's some reasons for why you might. Is YouTube honestly down? Can you guys hear me? Let's see if I'm also seeing a problem on my end. It says excellent connection. It says stream health. Stream is healthy. Excellent stream status. No issues. Okay, I'm not even losing frames, so I don't know. It must be on your guys' side, or maybe certain geographies or something that's having a problem. Okay. Paul says, chuck some ESLT, Elbit Systems, into the portfolio. Paul, absolutely will do. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. It just fixed itself? Okay. Yeah, it's probably a Google issue or something. Guys, just hit refresh. See if that fixes anything. But typing it into chat, there's nothing I can do from my end. It looks perfectly fine from StreamYard and YouTube. Maybe they're having a consumer problem right now. Short Google. I'm kidding. Okay. AI didn't help the Yankees or Red Sox, so don't bet on it. Yeah. Which, by the way, guys, some of the things that are happening on prediction markets right now is so unbelievably hilarious. I can't get over some of the videos that are coming out. Like, okay, one, Polymarket is expected to expand to stocks where people can bet on if a stock price is going to rise or fall in a certain duration of time. That sounds like an unbelievable regulatory hurdle and just sounds like options that would expire worthless if, a strike price was not hit. So good luck to them, but obviously they see some sort of path to there. So maybe it gets done in some form of another. But that being said, I also saw this video. Where did I put that? You guys got to check this out. This was somebody playing prediction market and needed JPOW to say pardon on his stream. So a cough, for example, would net this person $500. This is the sickness of gambling, by the way.
Was informed.
Yes, let's go. That's pardon me locked.
Triggered significant tightening and was informed.
Yes, let's go.
I mean, that is crazy. Dude takes a second to stop and cough, and like what, millions of dollars are trading hands. I mean, it's sickening. And the pop-off makes it way, way funnier. Supposedly he paid $150 for, and you know what I love about these predictions too? Like take a look at this. This is some real degeneracy. I mean, thank God he's not playing with too much money, but supposedly the cost of his option was $149, but the value was $160. So like, how did the option change in price, or the contract change in price between, a certain period of time? Are people like, judging whether or not Powell looks a little sick or his voice is raspy? Like, I love how the chances of him coughing are changing in real time before it happens. The degeneracy is off the charts. However, he did get paid out. So congratulations to that individual. Speaking of another reason why I'm very bullish on Amazon here and continue to buy as the stock stays absolutely flat, and Mackenzie Scott continues to sell off tens of millions of Amazon shares this year. Anthropic projecting up to $26 billion in annualized revenue by 2026 signals what's next for Amazon's AWS. I absolutely love this. Remember, not only do they have an equity stake in this business, but they're also using Amazon AWS for a lot of their work as well. So those tokens, that compute needed is, one of their largest customers will be Anthropic inherently. So if Anthropic wins and Claude Code is, an amazing product, it's hard not to bet on Amazon going forward. And also, you know what another reason is that everyone thinks that eventually this bubble is going to burst and all of these companies are going to stop spending on CapEx. Okay. That doesn't matter if you're Amazon. Okay. Amazon's the one that's spending on capital expenditures. So the day that they want to turn up the margin and slow down how much their burn is to just increase their margin is up to them. As long as Amazon wants to continue to be the largest startup in the world that the world's ever seen, maybe OpenAI will take that slot one day, then they can do that. Oh, I just spilled coffee. Jeez. Look at what you guys did. Okay, give me one sec. Tanner, are you in Amcor? No. Maybe Amit can get me into it. It does seem interesting, but not currently in it. We're not like a fund where we all trade the same names. I think the only time where, a couple of the YouTubers have traded the exact same name has been BMNR. I think that's the one name where Steve, myself, Amit, Chris Patel, Roy, Tevis, I think Matt Money's even a part of it as well. Like, it's just been a unanimous decision, which is also quite interesting considering it's the one that has no business, no real revenues right now. But the day they turn on staking, they will. Tanner, I got a playback error. It's real. Uh-oh. Come back. I just made $5 million on the if Tanner spills his coffee. It would have been like the first time probably on stream. Yeah. Google owns 14% of Anthropic, Amazon between 15 to 19%. Interesting. YouTube might be having some troubles. We can check. Is YouTube down? Yeah, I mean, there is a bunch of reports here in the last few minutes. 33,700 reports in the last 10 or so minutes. So looks like YouTube might be having a problem. Just refresh. Just come back. I welcome you guys back in. What's the under over that we start talking about? I'm not even going to say it. You know what? That would be bait. Tanner, do you think BMNR will start paying dividends once staking starts? I don't think that dividends will start when staking will start when staking starts, but it's an option. And they might do it eventually, but I don't think that that's going to happen whenever staking starts. I don't think it'll be like, both click on at the same time. Yeah, sorry about the YouTube app not working, ladies and gentlemen. Might need to, who said it? Might need to do it in the desktop rather than mobile. Are all the people that are going down happening on mobile? That might be the case. Tanner, what are your thoughts on SMCI here? I just have, one, I'm uneducated on the name, So take this with a grain of salt for sure. But I just worry if they're not a preferred partner, that other names like Dell might end up getting more of the customer base that potentially they were expected to grow into. So they don't need to own the same amount or a growing amount of the total addressable market. So even if the TAM is expanding and the pie is getting really large, it doesn't inherently mean that SMCI has to grow. Okay? Maybe it does. Chris, you're so wrong. The count must be it must be double digits by now, so I don't trust your counting. But yeah. Michael, welcome. No, mobile is fine on Android. Apple, iPads, and phones are the issue, though. Okay. See, I'm telling you guys, the Apple products, I mean, they can't be trusted. I'm kidding. Maybe it's random. Tanner, do you have AMD or NVIDIA? I am, out of the two of them, I'm 100% NVIDIA. But in my portfolio, 50% of my portfolio is, oh, you know what? That's got to be the way we grow the Twitch. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want, Twitch is probably working. If YouTube is going to treat us like this, go check out the Twitch. Only if you use Twitch. Give me a follow over there. If not, don't worry about it. Stick to YouTube. Okay. But yeah, 50% of my entire portfolio is NVIDIA, which, by the way, they got a price target recently of $320 per share. That's the second price target now that's above $300 price target with a 3 handle in front. So things can run a lot. And I'm not suggesting that because a Wall Street investor has come out and changed their price target, that this automatically suggests that that's where it's headed. But I think that people get anchored to certain prices, and then that's what dictates whether or not they're going to be investing or not, regardless of how much the TAM is actually growing. Okay? But think about this. The largest company in the world has a 78% upside over the next year, is what Frank Lee, CFA, says from HSBC. Also, long Twitch because Amazon, baby. You're so right. Why didn't I think about that? Twitch is also an Amazon product. Go pump my frickin' shares, ladies and gentlemen. Go make a Twitch account. Tanner, any thoughts on the recent continued weakness of Shift4? I haven't even checked the price of it today. How weak is it? Are we below? I mean, we're holding above 75. I mean, that's still very weak considering, you know, we were in 3 digits not long ago. But what's it called? I don't think it's too much there. I honestly think that people are just still worried about the payment space in general. You're seeing just a ton of weakness across PayPal, across Shift4, across many of these different names. But yeah. Also, PayPal got some news today. Roy covered that potentially an article came out suggesting that 5 million debit card users have been started on PayPal just since May. That's about 1 million new debit card holders per month since they've launched. Twitch is burning cash? Yes, but it doesn't mean that using it's going to further that problem. They need to figure that out, but yeah. Can't believe you don't own both NVIDIA and AMD. All right. Someone sent me a DM today and they said, Tanner, I love you. You know, you make good content, but you've got blinders up for AMD and it pisses me off. And I was like, all right, that's fair. Okay. But I'm a fundamental investor and sometimes you got to be biased. But until I see anything to the contrary that I am biased, I'm just going to continue to buy the company that I'm seeing has the best potential product. And the best potential product judged by actual sales and who's actually using these chips. So I will, I'm not suggesting AMD can't win. I'm bullish on semis in general. I think they're going to do well. I'm sure you'll make money on AMD. I'm sure that money's very safe. But also comments like this, I think, is insanely blinding as well. I mean, to think that because one company is working on a great product doesn't mean that the other company isn't doing much better. It's pace, not a race. It is a race. It absolutely is a race. I think that unlike most markets, that market is absolutely cannibalistic. If Apple does really well, Android suffers. It's not like people are going out and buying both, phones. But I'm not suggesting that AMD is not going to do well. It will. I just understand NVIDIA more and let me have that. You guys can enjoy your AMD shares. Maybe I'll get in one day. But I need to see any sort of chip comparison to make me suggest that I would want, to hold their products or to hold a company that underlying is their products versus NVIDIA. AMD uses NVIDIA products from time to time. NVIDIA, at no point, uses AMD products. Just a saying. AMD Plus, and honestly, I'm not trying to cause any AMD drama here. I'm not. I'm just saying that it's easier for me to hold on to a name that I've understood and have been researching for, 7 years. Okay. If AMD grows to 600, NVIDIA will own part of AMD indirectly through OpenAI. Yeah, but that I'm not worried about. That'll be a tiny part. Are we getting new Stock Tank episodes for iRen or anything like this? I would love to, but we need to find those people that are wanting to talk about those names. SoFi price prediction. That's what I showed off this morning. I had a price prediction back on March of 2023 that talks about. That talks about my price target for SoFi at $93 per share. You can hold both and both. I literally said AMD will be fine, but I don't have to hold both. Why do I want to diversify? Like, to me, that's just diversification in a way. If I don't know their products as well, like if I don't believe that they are going to be able to sustain or grow market share the way that NVIDIA is going to, why do I need to take part in it? I'm sure both will do fine, but I don't think NVIDIA is going to underperform. You guys can hold both. Go right ahead. I'll hold both whenever I see that AMD looks cheap, but they are much more expensive than NVIDIA, in my opinion, based on pricing or based on pricing metrics. Tanner's a fanboy, no doubt. Same with Ethereum. In love with Tom Lee. A year ago, hated crypto. Eh? Yeah, I've been holding Solana and Ethereum and Bitcoin for years. But yeah, I know I'm stirring the pot, fully aware. What is AMD's forward PE right now? Let's have a look. I can stir the pot a little more. It's all good. We can stir. Nvidia's forward PE is 31 times and AMD's is 47 times. The blue is Nvidia, which has just been getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper because the stock has not moved. Well, AMD has exploded recently, which congratulations. I super support retail winning. But just because it's moved doesn't mean that I have to buy up here. You're right, I should have bought here. But I'm not going to sell my Nvidia today to buy into something that I think is higher priced. And I don't care about market cap as, like people look to market cap and go, oh my gosh, this $4.7 trillion business can't grow as fast as this potentially $300 or $400 billion business. But I don't agree. Taylor snubbed Tom Lee earlier. I think you meant to say Sailor, but I don't know if we watched the same clip because he had nothing but extremely positive things to say about Tom Lee. He talked about how Tom Lee is old school Wall Street and how he's bringing a lot of old money into a new platform. He actually thinks that it's going to be really good for Ethereum. In fact, he had very great things to say about smart contract chains like BNB, Ethereum, and Solana in that same stream. Jensen will rule. Love this stream. Richard, do you want me to buy AMD with that or what? Let's see. Okay. What? I'll go back to some of the stories if we get off that. Jensen wants to get every business from every industry to be built on NVIDIA. Yeah. I'm sure that's the case that every CEO will make for, SoFi wants every single business to be running on Galileo and yeah. Sailor doesn't like Mike Novo. I don't know any of that drama at all. You hyped for the Steve stream? I think so. I don't know what it's going to be about, but yeah. I honestly, guys, I knew he's going to ask a lot about my my past in picking stocks, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have a magic sauce or anything along these lines. I just think I'm buying names in total addressable markets that continue to climb, and hopefully those companies grow within those total addressable markets, and they also are expanding margin. I mean, that like, it's kind of simple. Why doesn't Fiscal AI have a phone app? So I actually just met with their CEO today. They're definitely working on it. They're working on it. They've got a lot of cool things coming up. Like potentially, like live earnings calls in the app as well. They want to, well, I don't know actually how much I should be saying, but they've got a lot of things that they are, that they're doing and able to meet with me and some of the other people. And it was great, actually. Not interested in Pokemon cards. I think that they've done well historically, and I'm sure they'll continue to do well. But I don't have an opinion. You sold me on SoFi. I must say thank you, Tanner. No problem. But I hope you did your own due diligence. Are the Brewers going to win the World Series? No. You know what's hilarious about this? I don't even know what sport that's for. Anyway, that's for sports ball. Oh, okay. Tennis. I know it's not tennis. Okay. Girls racquetball, poker. You guys are great. Okay, there was 2 people that said ice hockey, so I'm going to believe that. Are there mosquitoes in Canada? You guys kill me. Yes, there is. Okay, let's get back to the news, because I actually realized that this cannot be an endless stream, because I have another stream after this. And yeah. Apple unveiled their M5 chip. They also showed off their Apple Vision Pro, which people got pretty excited for because it has an M5 chip, but it also continued to have an R1 chip. People were expecting an R2 potentially. It did not. Came with a new headband, sort of a dual band that goes across the top of the head, because people said that it was weighing a little bit just being on the back. It looks a little goofier, but of course that's going to help with some of that weight. But is the Apple Vision even the future? I mean, do we want to watch movies extensively alone in our own heads? I just spilt the coffee again. Okay. I don't even know how that happens. Yeah, so in terms of stocks that I am purchasing, I like growth. I like being in markets that continue to grow, that continue to be favored by government. Love payments. Love what blockchain is going to do to payments. So right now I'm buying dLocal, Chime, Amazon, BMNR, and just a little dabbly dab in Google. But yeah. And I think I'm not going to trim Hood here, but if we have another run in the stock market, I could see myself trimming a name like Hood just because it's run so fast so far. Obviously, they're going to continue to win. I'd never fully sell out of Hood, but I think some comments about, you know, who's going to double first, Hood or SoFi, I think it actually makes it pretty clear for me that some of the smaller fintechs are going to continue to win. Chime is not going to consolidate into other names. SoFi is not going to consolidate. I don't think they're going to be purchased up, and if they are, it's going to be at really good premiums. I'm not buying Shift4 here, but that's not because, you know, I don't like Shift4 or anything. I do. I just haven't had time. Or not that I haven't had time. I don't know. I already have an existing position in Shift4. I'm still growing my position in dLocal, and I don't mind diversifying between the two. YouTube is cooked right now. Check out Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. Get up the Twitch thing. Help me out. Not buying more new here. I actually don't know where the price of new is at. 15.18. Yeah, my position in new is pretty huge. So I still have a lot of belief in Nubank. I think we're going to see, Nubank at $30 plus in the future. But yeah, is Twitch actually a good service? I don't know. Some people definitely like, Twitch. But yes, if I have the chat on the screen, you guys can see the comments and also the Twitch comments. So I should put that up more often. I honestly just forget to put it up sometimes. I can see the chat, but my YouTube won't load any video. Tanner, I'm still waiting for you to join the Lemonade gang. Yeah, I don't have an investment in Lemonade. I have a hard time seeing what they're going to do differently than every other, insurance company. I think that same or that similar thing could be said amongst fintechs, but there's a lot of UI and brand that has to be created. I don't think anyone cares where they get their insurance from. And this comes from somebody that has sold a lot of insurance in their life. You want the cheapest rates and, maybe some additional features like being able to check your policy and what it covers and all of these things, maybe on a mobile device and not a piece of paper that's mailed to you after 7 days, something along these lines. So I get that. But the idea that the inherent legacy businesses are not working on automated policies, are not working on, direct to consumer, all like, even whenever I was working at my old business, I mean, they were like the insurance companies that we were working with were doing that back in like 2019, 2020. So where will they be with AI and all these things? I'm not sure. So I've just not been rushing in because I don't know how much of a moat that Lemonade has. That comes from a very uneducated opinion. But I just go sometimes, I need that spark. I need that feeling whenever I invest. Yeah. Technical difficulties. Insurance is commoditized and mainly word of mouth. I wouldn't touch it. Yeah. I don't know how much word of mouth it is. I don't know about all that, but I do agree. Like, especially whenever I was in the insurance game, it would be small differences between the pricing of multiple different insurers to address the same asset or problem, whether that was a home insurance or life insurance or whatever. I want Tanner as an American brother. Well, then invite me down there. I've not gotten an invite. YouTube would suck when I'm trying to learn. I mean, yeah. Twitch is doing fine. I don't know what my Twitch handle is or whatever. But yeah, maybe that's the place to be right now. The Twitch is up and ready. Okay. How do I even get like the link for Twitch? I never use that platform. I guess that's sort of the problem. I don't think many of you guys do, but at least they're not down. Yeah. Okay. midstream ads kill Twitch. I think that's creator decided, and I'm not even monetized on Twitch. So there's midstream ads on YouTube too. I could send you guys to an ad right now. There's a button in front of me. I just don't press it. So it's really about the creator and how much money that they're trying to monetize. I mean, there's mid-roll ads here. But we don't do it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah. Okay. Is that a threat? Press it? No, I'm not going to press it. No, it's okay, Tanner, do it. So you guys just trying to look and see what ads YouTube has? I'm not going to press it. Don't threaten me. You better press the ad or I'm going to leave. Oh, that's literally me. I was going to send the Twitch thing just in case. If YouTube is bugging you, there is this. If not, and you're doing fine on YouTube, stay on YouTube. That's where I prefer you. I'm only on 2 platforms. Okay. Let's get back to it though. Oh, you know what's another thing? Okay, so first off, Hims doing very well. Wanted to talk about that. There's still a huge potential for a short squeeze. I think investors should be very happy. I still have my, $250 or whatever that Tevis ended up giving to me to buy this stock. He ended up giving me like $100, but it was, it's skyrocketed since then. So, or maybe that was Roy. What's up, puppy? Okay. But I wanted to talk about Elon Musk really quickly, because constantly we were getting conversations around, Elon going back to work, not focusing on politics, everything like this. If you guys are following him on X, he's not talking about political issues, but he is talking about cultural issues again. And it just drives me nuts. I wish he just focused on like the companies that he's working on, but he's constantly tweeting about, this post about this, 70-year-old lady who was tortured and his attacker was, not given a proper sentence. This other person that was like he's constantly doing this. Here, I'll share my screen. This, and then this other person who was stabbed constantly and not given a proper thing or kicked out of the country, or another one, career criminal that, potentially is not getting, the proper prosecution or whatever. I'm making no form about whether or not his politics are correct or which way I'm leaning. I'm not making any comments about this. But Elon, it drives me nuts that you're going on about this stuff and not going back to work. Go to work, dude. Like, I'm aware he, on his off time, does 10x what I do in a day. But, like, there are people. Yeah, Tanner Pro murder. So true. No, obviously, there are people who their full focus in life is to solve that problem. Okay? I have, things that I care about in life that I don't talk about publicly, because the 800 and plus whatever that's listening right now cares not about that. They care about me for, what I have to say about individual stocks and investments, which I appreciate all of you guys being here. But Elon, I mean, maybe you guys care about his opinion on these types of matters. I personally do not. I mean, I hope someone's figuring out those issues. I'm not advocating because he's talking about that makes me on the opposite side of those arguments. But I want him to focus on electric vehicles, sending cars to space, or sending payloads to space, helping Starlink. Like you just got a $1 trillion pay package to advance electric cars and robots here on Earth. And then he's like, oh, well, you know what? This person who just got into the country ended up doing this bad crime and they ended up staying because they're, asylum seeking or whatever. I don't have an opinion about, well, it's not that I don't have an opinion about that. I don't care about Elon's opinion about this. I don't. And this is driving me crazy that everyone says, oh, Elon's done now. He's going back to work. Bro, he's constantly doing this. I cannot invest in Tesla until he is done on X talking about anything other than like X platforms, Tesla, whatever. Obviously, he can talk about whatever he wants, but I'm also of the free investing mind to not invest in his in his company. So if you want to do what you want to do, that's perfectly fine, but don't get mad at me because I'm not a Tesla investor. And if you're on the other side of that politics and people feel very strongly sometimes about politics and saying, hey, but the issues that Elon's talking about are more important than the companies or whatever he's supposed to be talking about. It's not all just about these issues. Sometimes there are issues that are bigger than those things. I get that. Okay. There are things more important than money sometimes. But I have the free will to not invest in what he's associated with. And I say that wholeheartedly, knowing that he's maybe the greatest entrepreneur of our time. But from the time that I invested in him, of 2018, actually the first company I ever bought in 2015 was Elon Musk's company. But 2018 through 2025, for the most part, up until the tail end of 2025, getting Trump elected, which I thought was a massive benefit to Elon because, hey, you're buddy, you're touching, you're bumping elbows with the most powerful man on earth. That can't hurt. Two powerful men coming together and they both have interests aligned with each other is great. But all that's gone. You know, maybe I am overthinking this, but it, like this, Al Gore says Al Gore. Al Gore says I'm overthinking this. That's hilarious. That might be fine. You might be right. But that could be true. The company's expensive on a valuation perspective, and I think that whenever something is that high from a forward PE basis or something like this, or pick your metric, that your stock is more vulnerable to speculation. And just got to be careful with that. Anyway, you're right. I'm probably overthinking it. I got to get off this topic. Jimmy, you tell me the metric that you would like to look at them by. You tell me the one, and then I'll compare it to the Mag 7. Any one you want. I know Elon doesn't care. Bribe me with money. I don't care. I saw the whole thing. I follow him. But it doesn't mean that the stock's going to do well. We're an investing channel. Where was that? Let's talk Benioff now. Yeah, I think Salesforce is going to do well. I've never, ever bet against Mark Benioff, and I still hold its stock today. I was asking what the forward PE is. We can look at that. Let me bring back Google. We're going to use Fiscal AI. Shout out to Fiscal AI. I won't run an ad here on YouTube, but I will state that Fiscal AI, although being a premium product, is the freaking best. Okay. Forward PE for these names. We'll look at this quarterly and then here, or we can even bring it much closer. Last 2 years, last 1 year, whatever you guys want. One of these things is not like the other. I'm aware Tesla's business is going to be much larger in the future than it is today. But I would say the exact same thing about NVIDIA for sure, Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft. All of these businesses are growing. By the way, the actual PE, in case the text is small here, is 217 versus, a range of mid 30s down to 25. So if we take off Tesla here, this is really what the range looks like. And there's been such a tightening, such an unbelievable tightening of PE. So, yeah. How can people justify it? Well, I mean, they can if you think that, Optimus is going to 10, 20x the business, because then, like, the multiple doesn't matter. But, like, if he is going to get the company to $8.5 trillion in the future, and $1 trillion is going to go to Elon, then you're going to see a great return. But all I'm saying is, in that time, with much less risk, because it's not guaranteed that he's going to get that pay package. Because people say, hey, he got it before, that means he's going to get it next time, because it's Elon, which I agree. He's got a pretty good track record. Is that, what's going to be the return of a Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, NVIDIA during that same time frame? You think they're going to stand still while Tesla goes to 8 trill? Doubt it. Cool. YouTube is working again. Glad you guys are back. Salesforce has been a dog. It's true. But, yeah. Do you regret selling Tesla stock? Not even in a little, not even a little bit. I actually think I'd have to go back and check the exact day. I still might be up, because the day that I sold it all, I rotated it into NVIDIA. I think maybe Tesla would have the advantage by today's price, because I think that it's run so much, but I also think NVIDIA has not run. I think the margin on Tesla has only widened, which increases risk. Whereas, NVIDIA's multiple today on a forward PE basis is 31 times. Like, are we sick? Are we sick? Who's saying that they want to buy Walmart or Costco over NVIDIA? Walmart, Costco. Why can't I see Costco? Okay, there it goes. Look at this. Like, I'm aware some of these technology names have moved. This is, shoot. This is Costco's forward PE, 47 times. The next highest one, Walmart, 39.5 times. And then all of the largest tech names in the world are underneath it. Have we lost our mind? I don't think that Costco's business or Walmart's business will do bad over time. I think they'll do fine. I just think that these Mag 7 names are going to do great. The amount of operating leverage that they have and flexibility to press off or stave off competition is insane. The amount of different markets that they can get into, the speed at which tech continues to advance, and people would rather pay a multiple for Costco and Walmart drives me. It doesn't drive me crazy. I don't get mad. The market is the market. Like, if you guys are making your money, I've got no problems with it. I'm not mad that other people, I'm not envious in this market. But I think it just makes me feel much more confident in the names that I'm investing in, because I still know that if I putting additional capital towards Amazon, and they continue to do well. If you see AWS even remotely take a step up in their performance, I mean, you're going to see those stocks do very well over time. And I would bet my entire life savings, and I am, by betting on these names, a large percentage of what I own in my entire life, what I've made over the last 10 years, has been from, the Mag 7 names. So, and what's funny is it wasn't even Mag 7 names. Like NVIDIA wasn't even there. There was a FANG was before. It wasn't always Magnificent 7. It was FANG before. And what was it? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. That was the big names of the market. I think that was also a Jim Cramer thing. And then it was it got adjusted to include Tesla and what was the other one? Why am I missing? There was one with an S because I remember it used to be FANGs. Was it Shopify? No. Anyway, the Magnificent 7, I think, shows off, or even Magnificent 6 or 5, shows off just how insane. You're so right. It might even have been Salesforce. It might have been. Yeah. If NVIDIA ain't breaking 200 soon, she will roll back. No, I said it was FANG, but there was people posting about like you always see this where people say Mag 10 now. There was a FANGs, FAANGS, and I think it might have been Salesforce as well. I already said this. I already said this. Don't start turning around on me like I didn't remember what FANG was. I literally said Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. I said that out loud. It was FANG. I'm going to, whoever's mod in here, ban everyone. People keep saying Microsoft. It wasn't there. Microsoft wasn't on the list. I didn't make the list. There was never an S. Oh, come on. Was there never an S? Was there never an S? They didn't adjust it for an S? All right. The S was for SoFi. Okay, fine. Okay, it was bad. It was bad memory. Ladies and gentlemen, I have other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about, but it's always fun doing these shows with you. Hopefully everyone is not freaking out about any market collapses or anything along these lines. I think we have a long bull market ahead of us. As long as this administration, honestly, stays at the helm, the deregulation part and the ending of quantitative tightening, the rate hikes, all of these things just go to fuel more aggressive equity markets. So I'm very excited. Hopefully you guys are too. But I'm going to go talk with Stephen Fiorillo as he's doing some sort of interview, and I don't know what he's going to ask me, but yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.